Hello. Hi, everybody. How's it going? How y'all doing? Zanzibar White, thank you so much for the tier 1 for 29 months. Thank you. I'm sure 29 is significant other than being a lot of individual is significant other than being a lot of individuals' perpetual age. But I can't think of anything else except that it is significant to enjoying your streams and channel for that long. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. Howdy. I love how howdy was your accidental subscriber message. That's pretty funny. A Danish prince has been a moderator for 66 months. Why are they... Didn't even know that stuff was being tracked. I'm surprised you can announce that. That's very specific. I know, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, y'all. How have I been? I'm doing all right. Your hair is really long. Yeah. I mean, I got a haircut too, like right before we left in May. So, but yeah, my hair's pretty long. I'm doing all right. I'm sorry it's been so long. You got your first US passport. That's cool. Where are you going to go? Where are you traveling? Do you have any fun trips planned? I feel like the last like month or two has been kind of a doozy when it comes to like travel. I've been traveling a lot, so that kind of interfered with like my ability to stream, but then also like a lot of neck spasms and upper back pain and things that just kind of prevented me from... I'm currently dealing with a neck spasm right now, but I can just move a lot better today. I had a neck spasm the day we got back from traveling because I tripped down the stairs and triggered one, and I was like, God damn it, Natalie. But I waited a couple days to see how I felt, and I was like, you know what, I'm in pain, but I'm not in such debilitating pain that it will impact my ability to stream. So I was able to schedule a stream. But yeah, it's been like a rough go of it. I know it's been a long time. Hype train, oh my God. DJ Low, thank you so much for the 32 months at tier 3. Almost the half century. Keeping awesome. You keep being awesome. Thank you so much. Mr. Bortman TV, thank you for the tier 1. Ouch, that must have hurt. It did. It hurt so bad, y'all. Have you ever been in so much pain you feel like you're gonna throw up? That's what happened. I like tripped down the stairs, but I caught myself. But like I overextended my knee. My knee ended up being fine, but it like twinged in the moment, and then it triggered like my whole upper back by catching myself. They triggered a neck spasm, and I had to like sit with my head between my legs for like 5 minutes because I felt like I was gonna throw up. It hurt so bad. I was like, it was so bad. And I'm like, this is just because I'm clumsy. Like, I'm old and clumsy, and my body is just dramatic. So, I don't know. My mom told me she wants to take a trip to Mexico. Oh, fun. I hope you get to enjoy that soon. Is the neck getting back at you for being a reckless teenager, like how my knees are treating me? Honestly, probably because of all the gymnastics and stuff. I'm sure that didn't help. Also, I went to my cousin's wedding, not this past weekend, but the weekend, well, no, last weekend. Yeah, I can say that. Sorry. It feels like a lot more time has passed because I've traveled a lot in the last few weeks. I was at my cousin's wedding last weekend, and I danced really, 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 really hard. And even while I was dancing, I was like, oh, my back hurts. This is bad. Something's happening. And like, I was really stiff and sore the next day, but it didn't trigger like a spasm, but like I did have a couple pain points where I was like, ooh, we're touch and go here. We're a little bit too close for comfort to a back spasm. But then the next day came and I felt a lot better, and I was like, oh, we're fine. And then the day after that came, and that was when we flew home, and I felt fine on the flight home. And we get home, and I'm walking down the stairs and fall and trigger a back spasm. So it just is what it is. I'm used to it at this point. It sucks, but non-binary ferret, I love your username. Thank you for following. I love your username. Were you dancing like Chris Tucker? Probably a little bit, but also like way dorkier than that, if you can believe that. Like imagine like a middle-aged white mom dancing the way Chris Tucker dances in Rush Hour, and then like that's probably what I was doing. I love dancing at weddings. I really do. Like there's a special place in my heart for dancing all out like no one is watching at a wedding. There's just something about it that it just makes me joyful. Was it like Elaine from Seinfeld? Probably a bit like that. There was also a lot of jumping involved. A lot of jumping. Darn it, I'm sorry you're going through this nonsense. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty used to it, but I am also pretty sick of it. I think I'm at a point though, I'm starting to work with a personal trainer again to like start building muscle again. And I'm hoping that like more consistent movement will maybe help. Because I think part of the problem with my back is the lack of movement when I was recovering from, definitely not the Carlton. My neck could not handle the Carlton. That's where I draw the line. There was some stupid headbanging involved though. I didn't do a lot of headbanging because I knew that was gonna fuck me up, but I did a little bit of light headbanging. There was like a song, I forget what song it was, but there was a song where like there was some serious headbanging going on and Tyler started competing with, it was so funny. He went up to this guy with really short hair and Tyler has like longer hair. It's like down to like, it's down to like to here. He's longish hair. He can like, you do a little man bun, you know? And he went up and they started headbanging together. And then this guy with like hair longer than mine, like it went down to like here. You can't even see. It was so long. And he came up and started headbanging. And I was just like, this is iconic. It was so funny. Watched your videos a lot recently. They've really helped me deal with some tough days. So thank you. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I hope your days get better. Cyberdon. Thanks for enjoying the videos. DJ Low, thank you so much for the 46 months on YouTube and the 5 gifted. Wow, thank you. Jeez. Loved your Dances with Wolves reaction. That movie was like funnier than I expected it to be. I mean, it's not really funny. It's like depressing as fuck in the end. And as it should be, like it's a serious subject matter, but like I feel like the whole first half was just cracking me up. I did enjoy that movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie. There's a lot that's wrong with it. It definitely could be cut down a lot. And I think some stuff in the third act should be changed. But there's a lot that's cool about it too. Dance like your body isn't watching? Exactly. I went to too many dubstep raves in my early 20s and now my neck goes out much quicker. Yeah. Yeah. It's like all I want to do. Sorry, I was about to say all I want to do is break free because like earlier I was talking to on the Patreon only live stream. I was like, the way I feel when I dance is like, I want to break free. But when I said all I want to do, my brain was thinking of that Sheryl Crow song, is have some fun. And that also applies. Like, I just want to let loose when I'm dancing and not worry about the consequences. But my body is like, bitch, we've got consequences. So simmer down. Oh, well. Hi, Coyote. Oh, it's your first stream. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Love the Buffy video. Great to see you're enjoying the show. It's so campy and silly, and I do enjoy it. It's a good time. It's like, for those of y'all that aren't on Patreon, we have like a Patreon exclusive show, which is Attack on Titan. Like, I'll do anime reactions over there, and I don't post them on YouTube because, like, Japan is crazy with copyright law. So it's been a lot of fun to be watching a show like Attack on Titan that's like so dramatic and making me cry and is like hardcore. And then watching like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They go together really well because they tap into completely different emotions for me. I decided to become a house DJ at 31 and realized my neck strength isn't what it used to be. Yeah. Preach. You should check out Supernatural. Yeah, I've never watched Supernatural. But that's not a bad idea. I never saw a single episode of Supernatural. But I saw the other day, I saw like a TikTok short the other day of somebody acting out the people from Supernatural. And I was like, wow, this looks like a very campy show. Maybe I should check it out. I'm a Supernatural fanatic. Oh, House of the Dragon season 3 also starts next weekend? Oh my god. Will you be reacting to the Michael Jackson biopic? Probably not. Probably not. Wait, AOT is heavy? No way, it's a case of sunshine. Oh my god, dude, some of the episodes I just watched, I was crying. I normally don't cry when people die in Attack on Titan because I just expect it, but oh my god, I was crying with one of the more recent episodes. Are you planning on watching The Boys last season? No. I can answer your question. No. I'm not. Sorry. Not planning on that at all. I'm done. It's okay. Sometimes it's better to just stop. Charmed is another good one. I've definitely heard of that as well, but I haven't seen it. Pussycat Doll 22, thank you for the watch streak. Stream streak. I've never heard of Wonder Man, so it's not on my radar. No, anime does that to you. Yeah, I'll admit that good. It was mid. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm good. I don't need to. I definitely think I prejudged Attack on Titan before I started it, and then when I started it, I was like, oh, this is nothing like what I expected it to be. The set and setting was so different than what I expected. And then the subject matter was so different than what I expected. And I was just like, oh, I was so wrong. I truly judged it just based on the title and the fact that I knew it was anime and it was popular. And I went, I'm probably not going to like this. And I'm obsessed. I'm like, oh, I was such a judgy little bitch. I knew nothing. And I've been so pleasantly surprised. It's been such a good experience, albeit devastating at times, but it's so well done. And you can tell the writers really thought through every moment. There's so many moments that happen in season 1 that by the time you get to, things come back around in season 3 in such satisfying ways. And I'm like, wow. It's so good. Attack on Titan is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I never would have thought that I'd be so hooked on an anime show. I really just, because I was just not an anime person as a kid. And man, I just was so wrong. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I've seen so many Anime films that I loved. But I thought that was just a Studio Ghibli thing, you know? I thought, well, this is just Studio Ghibli. They're just in a caliber all their own, you know? But no, it's not. I knew nothing. I have not watched Edge Runners. You realize all the small details. Yeah. There's so many small details. Oh, it's best the second time watching it. I can see how it would be just as good, if not better, the second time around. Because there's so much as a first time viewer that I'm just I feel the meme of the guy with the math calculations above his head. I'm just okay, trying to, because I'm just focusing so hard on reading the subtitles and trying to take in the information dumps. And I could see how once you know everything, going back to the beginning and watching, I could see how amazing it would be. But I'm enjoying it a lot. Season 4 is going to be insane. Season 3 has already been so fucking insane. I'm almost done with season 3 and I'm just I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. It's just so good. I'm only on episode 10 so far. What are you doing? Stop the stream right now. Click out of this and go watch it. No, I'm just kidding. That Marvel show. I did see that. Okay, I do know about that show. Yes. It looked really good based on the trailer, actually. I just never got around to it. But I saw the trailer for it and I went, oh, this actually looks unique and fun. Honestly, you're grasping AOT extremely well. We haven't had to explain much of anything at all to you. Really? I feel like such an idiot while I'm watching it. I really do. I feel so stupid when I'm watching Attack on Titan because I'm just okay, all right, let me try to remember everything I've learned up until this point and take in the new dramatic reveal that's coming in this episode. And like, they do such a good job of stringing the mystery out. And I really feel like the creators, oh, sorry, my nose is so itchy. I really feel like the creators trust that their audience is smart. Like, they don't spoon feed things to you. They really like kind of like sprinkle it and take their time with it. And so there's been so many times where I'm like, okay, I think I'm piecing it together, but I'm not certain. And I doubt myself the whole time I'm watching it. But I'm loving it. Oh my God, the way I just said that reminded me, this is so random, you guys, but I can say this because like I'm not friends with this person and she doesn't know me real well, but there was a time when Tyler and I, it was the second time we were going to Burning Man, and we offered to give a ride to somebody in our camp that we didn't know well. And looking back on it, I really wish we hadn't, because like I ended up hating her. But I didn't know that I hated her until like it was too late. Like, we essentially met up with her for dinner, and we left that dinner and I was like, oh fuck, what have we committed to? Like, I already don't like this person, and we're about to spend like 10 hours in a car both ways with her. Like, kill me. But anyway, the ride there wasn't so bad. Like, we had an all right time until the end. But at one point on the car ride in, we were listening to like a Chuck Palahniuk audiobook. I don't remember which one it was, but it was something. Maybe it was like Survivor, or I don't know. It was some Chuck Palahniuk book. And we were probably like a good 50% of the way in, and we paused it and we were like, is it cool that we're playing this out loud? Like, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like, do you mind if we're listening to it? We can take a break for a little bit if you don't like it. And she was like, oh no, I really like it. I have no idea what's happening, but I'm enjoying it. And Tyler and I say that sometimes. Like, I have no idea what's happening, but I'm enjoying it. And that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I watch Attack on Titan, even though that's not really true, because I do know what's happening. But she genuinely had no clue. Like, it was crazy. We were like, do you want us to explain it to you? And she went, I don't think I'll get it even if you do. And we were like, okay. And then we just clicked play and we just kept listening to it. And I was like, I don't know how she's not following this. It's not that hard to follow. And she was just like, I have no idea what's happening, but keep playing it. I'm like, why is she into it if she doesn't know what's happening? Like, what? I don't know. So it was such a moment. She knows her own limitations, at least. Yeah, it's true. And I will say, despite how annoying she was, there were a whole bunch of fucking crazy things that happened with her that drove me insane. At least in that moment, I was like, man, I respect that, because she was willing to admit that she was confused, but she also knew we were having a really good time and was like enjoying the vibes of it playing and wasn't gonna harsh the vibe and was like, cool, yeah, keep playing it. And I'm like, oh, thanks, because I think most people in her situation would be like, I honestly have no idea what's happening. Could we play some music? Like, most people in her situation might be like, can we stop the book? Because I'm confused. And she was like, no, it's cool. I don't know what's going on, but keep playing it. And I'm like, well, at least she's letting us listen to it. It's a good thing she's not a viewer. Oh, I'm like 1,000% confident she's not a viewer. In the Venn diagram of like where we overlapped on things, it was the teeniest sliver. And in that sliver, it was just the fact that we were both going to Burning Man that year. And that was it. That was the extent of where we overlapped on anything. So I wouldn't even care if she did find my YouTube channel. I would be like, I would say all this to her face and she would probably hate me for it. And I would just be like, I don't care. Like, we had like a rough falling out by the end. I was so fed up with her bullshit by the end. There were a lot of crazy things that happened. That moment was early on in the beginning of the road trip there. By the time we were coming back, Tyler keeps his cool. I don't. So there were a lot of moments where I was like almost losing it. But by the end, Tyler was almost losing it, which should tell you everything. Tyler was like ready to strangle her. And Tyler's very chill and non-confrontational. I'm like that, but I'm just quiet, especially with strangers giving me a free ride. Well, it's like we didn't expect her to be quiet. Like, we're both very loud. Like, it's not like we had to like agree on everything, but there were just a lot of things that happened where I was like, you are actively turning me off of your personality. Like, she was just very bratty and like not self-reliant, and Burning Man is an event where you really need to be self-reliant, and there were like a lot of spill the tea. Do you guys really want this story? It's a long story. Like there's a lot that happened. Do you really want the story? I probably need to go back and rewatch the story. I haven't told it before. I think I'm late. Oh, you just got here. Yes, we want story time. Oh my God. Okay. I'll try to not drag it out too much. There's always a slither of bully energy from you. Okay, well, here's what I will say. I'll fully admit that like I can be a little bit of a bitch, but I'm not really. Like, here's the thing. How do I defend myself from that? I mean, like, I will, okay, so I will say all of my innermost, deepest thoughts to you guys as if we're not really streaming publicly on the internet right now, and that is a problem. I probably shouldn't do that. Like, I tell you my inside thoughts, which I shouldn't do. But also, I've been bullied. I'm not a bully. Like, I won't say mean things to people or call them names or like I'm not cliquey. It's not that. But I have a really low bullshit tolerance. So I'm not a pacifier, and I'm not, or a pacifist, I guess is the better way to say it. Pacifier, like the thing that you put in a baby's mouth. I'm not a pacifist, and I'm not here for like pretending I'm anything that I'm not. I am blunt as fuck. And sometimes that is a problem. Like if people want somebody who's non-confrontational, like I won't go and start a fight. But like if you're being actively fucking annoying or rude, I will tell you to your face why I think you're being annoying or rude. I will. And if that makes me a bully, then so be it. But I'm never trying to make anybody feel like worse or like they're less than for being different or weird or quirky, because I'm weird and I've been bullied before. Like for a large portion of my young life, I was bullied and ostracized. So do I just call yourself a pacifier? I corrected myself, sir. Okay. You're just direct. I'm very direct. And it behooves me in some situations, and it's a con in others. Because if you're my friend and somebody's being rude or mean to your face, I am the first person to be like, fuck off, asshole. Like, I'm the first person to say something. I either walk away or get violent. It's true. And as I've gotten older, I will say I walk away a lot more now. This was back in 2019, so it was a while ago where I was still a little bit more hot-headed. But like, as a person, I've grown and realized there are times when it's just better to walk away, and I do walk away a lot now. But if it's like somebody I love getting insulted, I get extra defensive. Anyway, this isn't really one of those situations. This person just drove me insane. So like, let's give her a fake name. We need to give her a fake name. Let's call her Sarah. Why not? It's a basic enough name. So I'm going to try to give this abbreviated version. We were a part of this Burning Man camp that ended up being like insane and kind of dramatic and crazy. But we made some long lasting friendships from this camp. Not many. It was a really big camp, and it ended up blowing up and collapsing after the year that we went. It had nothing to do with us because we weren't really involved in like leadership, but there was a lot of drama and fallout with this camp. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. We were a part of a lot of Color Cordelia. Okay, yeah, that's better. I'll call her Cordelia. Her name's Cordelia. So we joined this camp, and we were part of a lot of the build days, building the art that was going to go to the burn, because the camp was based in LA. So I went to a lot of build days, got to know a lot of the people in the camp, had a really good time with those build days. And I met Cordelia at one of these build days, and we had a great time together. She seemed really fun, and like, she was really young. She was younger than us. I was probably, God, how old was I in 2019? I hate doing math. I'm 32 now. So that was 7 years ago. So I was 25. Was I 25? I feel like I was 26, but that doesn't, 27. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. You're right. I was 27. No, wait. Yeah, I was 27, not 26. Wow. 25. Who am I? Sometimes I forget how old I am now. Anyway, no, 25? You guys are telling me I'm 25. Jesus Christ. What? Okay, yeah. No, I was 25. I'm 32 now. It was 7 years ago. At least 12. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was in my young 20s. She was even younger. Like, she was like 20. No, she must have been 21. I think she was 21 or 22. Which, I guess, doesn't seem like a large gap at that point. But I felt like I almost felt like a big sister to her. Like, she had very young energy. But it was fun to, like, we were painting together. It was a good time. And she mentioned, like, not having a ride to the burn. And I was like, well, you know, talk to us if you need help. Because, like, we don't have a big car. We wouldn't really be able to bring you and all your stuff. But if you could find somebody to bring most of your stuff, we could bring you. But just, like, let us know. It was kind of like a flippant comment. I wasn't really expecting her to take us up on it. But then she did. And we were like, okay, well, let's just, like, meet up for, like, lunch and we can talk logistics. And we met up for lunch. And that was when I realized I made a huge mistake. We met up for lunch, and immediately at lunch, she was telling us about her horrible roommate, and she was rooming with another burner. And she was telling us about all this drama that she had with her burner roommate. And then she was like, then she started talking to us about all of her other roommates that she'd had problems with. And she was like, I just have never really lived with anyone that I've gotten along with. It's always ended in drama. And I was like, oh, shit. And we left that lunch, and Tyler was like, she's not really on our wavelength, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I was like, Tyler, it's going to be bad. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, she's the type of person to blame everyone around her for drama. Like, she's the problem. I guarantee you she's the problem. And he was like, well, we'll make do. It's just 2 car rides. How bad could it be? And I was like, all right. And I was, at that point, I was like, I wish we could back out, but, like, we can't without it being insanely awkward. We can't back out now. So leading up to the burn, we were prepping her. We were like, again, we don't have a lot of room in the car. It's not a huge SUV. It's already going to have all of our stuff in it. We have just enough room for you to have a seat and to bring, like, a couple little things. Like, your tent, not going to fit. But, like, well, unless she had a little tent. We were like, if you have a really little tent, you could bring it. And we told her, we were like, she'd never been to the burn before, and we had. So we were like, it's really hard when you get to the burn. It can be really overwhelming, and it can be hard to find people. And so we were like, bring your necessary, crucial items with you. Like, bring your, like, a water bladder or water bottle, bring a dust mask, bring goggles. If her tent, I think, ended up being, like, small. So we were like, bring your tent, bring your sleeping setup, bring those things. Maybe, like, a change of clothes. Bring maybe a little bit of light food, but we can't, like, carry all your food for you, but, like, you know, bring some of that stuff. Do you think she listened to us? No. Like, we got on a phone call with her. She literally told you she's a red flag. Yes, she told us she was a red flag, and I was like, oh, fuck, we're fucked. And Tyler was being all optimistic, and I'm like, this is gonna be bad. And so the week before the burn, Tyler had pre-packed our car just to, like, take a photo and show her how much space she was going to have, like, just to prep her out of respect. And I was on a family trip the week before this burn. I was not in town. I was working overtime hours while on a family trip in North Carolina. So I was, like, working California hours, staying up to, like, an overtime. So I was staying up till, like, midnight each night, working my ass off in preparation to be able to go to Burning Man and, like, not leave my boss hanging, while also trying to do family commitments. And I was, like, really stressed with everything going on because I didn't really want to be on the trip. I was just like, there was a lot to do. And Tyler was home, like, doing our last minute preparations for the burn. And we had prepared this girl, Cordelia, for everything. And I get, like, a really late night phone call from her where she just started, like, crying, panicking, because she was like, I just don't get where this is coming from. Like, you guys are being really mean and stressing me out and telling me, like, I can't bring all these things, and I don't get why. Like, you said I could have a ride. And I was like, Cordelia, I explained this from the very beginning when I first offered you a ride, and I've said it multiple times since. This is the space you can have in our car. You have to arrange for somebody else to bring your stuff. It's not going to magically be brought for you. We can't, if this situation isn't going to work for you, then that's fine. But then we're not the ones to take you to the burn. Like, I wasn't mean. I just, like, was very matter of fact with her, and she was calling me mean, and she was like, you're just being so unreasonable and I don't get it. And I was just, I thought the burn is all about love and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, the burn is also about radical self-reliance. We are doing you a favor, but not at the expense of our own safety and comfort and well-being, because this is our car and nobody else is bringing our stuff. So we can't manifest more room for you just because you want it. Again, these are the things you should bring that are important, but you got to arrange another way to be brought. Well, do you think she did that? No. She just like panicked and stressed us out about it until finally she was like, I don't know. Like, and I was like, what about your, I forget what it was called, but like first time burners were assigned like bigs or whatever. Like, I don't know if they were really called bigs, but they were assigned people like veteran burners who could like help them. And I was like, what about your veteran? His name was Frenchie. Frenchie was a cool dude. I liked Frenchie a lot. I was like, what about Frenchie? What is he doing? And she's like, well, he's going in early and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Frenchie has a trailer that he's bringing. Surely he could bring some things for you. So, do you think she reached out to Frenchie? No. I reached out to Frenchie. I had to reach out to Frenchie for her, which I'm like, first of all, this already goes against the ethos of Burning Man, which one of them is radical self-reliance. So I was like, this fucking useless girl. Okay, so I reached out to Frenchie. I got it handled. She had somebody to take her shit to the burn. And I, again, reiterated to her, make sure you bring friend from the boys, right? No, he's very different looking, but he's really cool. He's a fun dude. But anyway, and he was really chill and laid back. But the thing is, he had to leave the burn early. So that was the thing. He was leaving for the burn early, but he had to leave the burn early for a wedding. So she wasn't going to be able to like have him take her stuff back from the burn. So I was like, well, you're going to have to arrange for somebody to bring your stuff back. I'm not doing that for you. I got you the hookup for getting into the burn and getting your stuff to the burn. You got to figure out how your stuff's getting home. Cause like, we're going to have even less room coming home, because one of the commitments of the camp is each camp member has to take 2 bags of trash with them out from the burn. That meant that in our car with 3 people on the roof rack, we had to strap 6 bags of trash on my little SUV. We did it, but it was tough. So I was like, we're not going to have any additional room. I need you to know that. There's no extra room coming. So you need to like figure out how your shit's getting home from the burn. And she was like, okay, thanks, blah, blah. And so the day comes, we pick her up, we hit the road, everything's fine. We have a really good time for like the majority of the road trip. She was pretty amenable, but she's telling us a lot of stories about her childhood, and it's made apparent that she's the youngest sibling in a family of only boys. So she's like the baby girl of the family. And I was like, this is starting to add up a little bit, because she was very young and naive, clearly used to being taken care of and spoiled. But it was really interesting because multiple times during the car ride, she kept bringing up the fact that like she could handle herself. And she was like this rough and tumble girl who grew up ATVing in the backcountry and was like, people don't expect that from me, because she was like a model. And she's like, people don't expect that I'm like that, you know? And like, they just like think I'm somebody that needs to be pampered and coddled, but like, I'm tough. I can handle myself. And I was like, well, you didn't handle yourself well to get to the burn, but okay, fine, whatever. So I like wasn't saying that, but I'm keeping shit to myself at this point, but I was like, okay. And anyway, we also explained to her on our way into the burn, hi frog dude. We explained on our way into the burn, like, it's a bit crazy. We were showing up on opening night. So we were like, yeah, the drive is like 8 to 10 years, what am I saying? 8 to 10 hours. But like, once we leave Reno, it can be anywhere from like an additional 2 hours. I forget exactly how far the distance is from Reno to Black Rock City, but like it can be anywhere from say 2 hours to like 20. Like we can be sitting in the car for another 8 hours at that point. Like once we get off the blacktop and we're waiting in line, you just don't know. It's going to be a long time. So just prepare yourself for that. Like it's going to be a lot of fucking waiting. And so we get to the line and it's nighttime. I forget what time it is. I think we waited in line maybe like 4 hours, which isn't that bad for opening night. It is at the end of a long driving day, so we were very tired, but like we were handling ourselves okay. But all of a sudden we get We get, I forgot to say the most important fucking part. Oh my God. Okay, so go back a little bit. We're leaving for Black Rock City. There's so much in this story. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. I forgot the most important part. You remember all the things I told her to bring? Dust mask, goggles, tent, all the important things that I was like, if you can't find, Frenchie for a bit, at least you have your crucial shit. Did she bring any of that? No, none of that. None of that was on her. What did she bring? An electric tea kettle, which I was like, why? Because like our camp had a kitchen. I'm like, you don't need that. That's like the least necessary thing I've ever seen. And a full-length mirror. Those were 2 crucial items to her to bring in our car. More crucial than a tent, more crucial than her sleeping setup, more crucial than a dust mask and goggles when we're going to a city known for dust storms. She British? No, she's very American. She's all American. This bitch was just fucking stupid, you guys. Like, so fucking stupid. So anyway, that was another reason I was rolling my eyes at her in the car when she's like, I'm used to handling myself. I'm rough and tumble. I'm like, you brought a full-length mirror to Burning Man, you dumbass bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Like, So anyway. She was just wanting to let off steam. So we get to the line and we're waiting in line and all of a sudden she starts to panic. She's panicking. She's like, I don't know where Frenchie's gonna be and I don't know where my stuff's gonna be and what am I supposed to do? Like, it's nighttime and it's so late and I thought we'd get here sooner and like, how am I gonna find him? I need to sleep and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Tyler was looking at me like, holy fuck, you were right. Like he at that point he was looking at me like, you called it so long ago and I am sorry I ever doubted you. This is a nightmare. And I was like, at that point I was done with her shit because I was just like, I've tried to help you. You don't listen. You don't want to be helped. I have tried, so I'm done. And I turned to her and I was driving at this point and I turned to her and I went, Cordelia, I don't fucking know. I don't know how you're going to find Frenchie. You'll have to figure that out. I told you from the get-go to bring your tent and dust mask and goggles and a sleeping setup. Were you married? This was before we were married. We were not married yet. We weren't even engaged yet. But I turned around and I was just like, this is a you problem. We did everything in our power to help you. You're on your own from here. Like, once we get into the city, like, we'll be at our camp. We're all in a camp together, so you can look around and look for Frenchie's trailer. Do you know what it looks like? Of course you didn't fucking know what it looked like. I'm like, how did you not know what it looked like? You dropped off your stuff to him. Anyway, I was like, he'll find you. We're all in the same camp. So I don't know what to tell you, but like, it is what it is. And she like starts crying in the back of the car. She's like, I just don't know why you can't be nice and help me and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, bitch, I'm so fucking done. I'm so fucking done. Because we're sleep deprived at this point, right? We've driven the whole way. Shared trauma does tend to strengthen bonds. I know. Before the COVID pandemic, Tyler and I were like, we got this. Like, we're ready for quarantine together. We've been through 2 burns together. Like, this is nothing. So anyway, she was crying and throwing a little temper tantrum in the back, and I was like, I'm done. And we pull up to camp, and as we're pulling up to our camp, we pass another camp that was called Hammock Camp, and they had giant hammocks. And I turned to Tyler and I went, I know you want to set up your tent. I know you want to set up everything. I have to be honest with you, because I had done the last stretch of driving. I was like, I have to be honest with you. I am about to collapse. I'm going to go to that hammock and sleep. I need to take a nap before I do anything. Because it was like nighttime, but sunrise was coming in like 2 hours. And I was like, once it gets hot, we're not going to sleep. So I was like, I have to go get some sleep. I have to. And he was like, that's okay. And this girl, Cordelia, is in the back of the car. And she's like, what do you mean? You can't just go sleep in their hammock. What are you talking about? And I'm like, and I literally was like, gifting is one of the principles. They brought the hammocks for people to use. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, have you not been paying attention to anything about Burning Man before you showed up? Like, shut up. I was like, the hammocks are for people. I promise you. They're gigantic hammocks on the street front of the camp. They are meant to be used by anyone. So I was just like, so over it. We pull up, we park, we get out of the car. I help Tyler unload a little bit, But then he was like, it's okay. Like, you go. I want to set up the tent, but I can do it alone. Like, you need to sleep. And I was like, thank you. And I go back to the car to get like my backpack or something. And she's still sitting in the car. And she's like, I don't know how to find Frenchie. And she's still crying in the back. And I just went, I don't know, figure it out, girl. Radical self-reliance. And I slammed the door in her face. I was like, I'm over it. I'm done. You're not my problem anymore until I have to take you home. So anyway, the whole rest of the week goes by. It's pretty uneventful. It was a good time, but she did have a moment. I really wasn't engaging with her much throughout the week because our camp was pretty big. And I was like, you are not my problem anymore, honey. Like, you can be everybody else's problem. And she was having a great time, but there was a moment during the week where like, there was this guy who was like flirting with he flirted with me, he flirted with some other people in our camp. He was clearly trying to he was like, well, let me see like who's, available in this camp. And him and Cordelia, I almost said her name. Him and Cordelia really hit it off. And they hooked up. And the next day, her like throat and face was all swollen and like she had hives. And we were like, what the fuck happened? Oh, this is another thing. In the car, on the way up, she had mentioned to us, because I opened a protein bar, and she went, are there nuts in that? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, can you not eat that? Because I have an anaphylactic allergy to peanuts. And I was like, oh shit. And I like immediately put it away and rolled down the window. And I was like, let me know if you need to like stop or get out of the car. Like, I'm so sorry. I won't do that. Like, and I was like, you got an EpiPen on you, right? And she was like, no. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? You have a life-threatening allergy to peanuts and you don't have an EpiPen? And you're going to Burning Man without an EpiPen? So that was another thing where I was just like, this bitch is so unprepared. It's fucking crazy. So anyway, maybe your mirror will save you. Right. Michael, thank you so much for the tier 1 at 4 months. Hi, Natalie. You look beautiful as always. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really should change. I should have done this a while ago. Guys, should we just chat today? Because I'm enjoying catching up with y'all, and like, I haven't been playing the game, and I've labeled this Skyrim Saturday, but we've really just been talking, so I'm changing the category. Sorry, I should have done that a while ago. But I've just missed you guys so much. Anyway, that's not like unprepared for Burning Man. That's like unprepared for life. Exactly. She was just unprepared for life. It was fucking insane. So anyway, that's like a diabetic not bringing insulin shots. I know. I was flabbergasted. I was like, I think it was like probably an hour into the road trip. And I said something like, to her like, okay, it'd be a little inconvenient, but do we need to turn around? Do we need to go back and get it? Because like we discovered this pretty early on because I happened to eat like a peanut butter protein bar like at the right time. And I was like, it's going to be a pain in the ass to add like 3 more hours of driving or whatever to this experience, turning around and coming back. But like, I'll do it. It's okay. Like if we need to turn around, we can do it. And she was like, no, I don't have one. And I was just like, okay, all right. Okay. So anyway, so we kept going. So anyway, she kisses this guy and then I see her and she had like hives and we were like, what happened? And she's like, oh, that guy that I made out with had eaten peanuts before we made out. And I was like so mad at him. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. I was like, wow, what an unavoidable situation. I'm like, you chose to make out with somebody and you have this like deathly peanut allergy and you don't have an EpiPen and you didn't ask him if he'd eaten peanuts. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? She didn't make that mistake once. She made that mistake twice. They hooked up again and he did it again to her. And we heard about it and Tyler was like, oh my God, they're perfect for each other. Like, they're perfect for each other. They need to date right now. So anyway, the rest of the week goes by pretty uneventfully. We get closer to the end of the week. Someone get this girl a bubble. Seriously, you guys. This isn't even over. The story's not over. It keeps going. So we get close to the end of the week. It's like cleanup time. And one of our camp leads comes over to me and he's like, Natalie, you're driving Cordelia home, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, how? What? Oh, no. This wasn't what happened. I went up to him because he was like dealing with stuff. And he had heard that Cordelia didn't have a way for her shit to get taken home. Like, she hadn't figured it out yet. She hadn't like asked anybody for help yet. She didn't figure it out before going to the burn, which is the thing you should do. So Frenchie had left to go to the wedding. And you don't get these kinds of stories in Skyrim, to be fair. You really don't. So I go up to my camp lead friend. We're talking about it. And he's like, do you have room in your car? And I went, Hung? No, I don't. His name is Hung, by the way. That's his real name. And I was like, no, I don't. And I explained to him the entire situation and story of everything that had happened. And I went, I promise you, I tried. And he was like, oh shit. Okay. He was like, it's not your problem. We'll figure it out. And I was like, thank you. Cause I was like, I can't. Like, I already figured out everything to get her here. And I told her she needed to figure her shit out to get home. And we don't have the room. I said, if we had the room, I would happily take her shit. It wouldn't matter to me. We don't have the room. And I'm not parting with any of my stuff. I'm not doing it. And he was like, understandable. It's not your issue anymore. We'll figure it out as a camp. Because I told him the whole story and he was like, this is bad. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it's been a doozy. So anyway, are you sure he wasn't trying to kill her? You literally can't make this up. I know. I was like, I literally had to tell him the whole story because I was like, I need you to understand the gravity of what I've been dealing with here. And after getting to know her and seeing some of the unfortunate series of events that were happening to her that week, he was kind of like, and he knew me well and we were friends and he was like, I believe you 100%. Like, nothing about what you're telling me is that much of a surprise. We'll figure it out. And I was like, thank you. So we get to cleanup day and they still hadn't found somebody to take her stuff home. They still hadn't figured it out. And she was coming up to me in a panic. And I was just like, I don't know, Cordelia, figure it out. I don't give a shit. Like, I was like being so sassy and curt with her at this point. Cause I was just like, I don't care. This is a you problem. This isn't a me problem. We're going with or without you. You can be on the bus or not on the bus. And I don't give a shit. So figure it out. And I was like, just make sure you have the shit that you need. Again, like you should have the first time. So she ends up like crying to one of the camp leads, a different camp lead who was a lot more easily impacted by boobs and a pretty face. So she cries to that camp lead and he was like, oh, we'll make room for your stuff on the camp truck. And that pissed off everybody in the camp. Like not people like me but like all the camp leads. There were a lot of camp leads and that really pissed them off because they were like, there isn't room in the camp truck and the room in the camp truck is supposed to go to the people who are driving it. Like, where are we going to find room for all of her stuff? So they were all really pissed at this guy for like just making the executive decision that her stuff could go in the camp truck. And she essentially like used her tears to get it. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, this was a really easily preventable situation, but whatever. Like, with a little bit of forethought and planning, this didn't have to happen. But anyway, it was funny because at that point, like everybody in the camp was coming up to like bitch to me about her. And I was like, you're preaching to the choir, honey. Like I have to drive her home. So let's talk about this later, but you don't even know the half. You don't even know the half of it. Like, and they were like, there's more. I'm like, there's a lot more. So anyway, we get in Exodus line to leave the burn and her stuff's in the truck. Like, it's gone, it's packed, it's in there. And we're sitting in the line and we had prepped Cordelia. We said, listen, like the drive home is infinitely harder than the drive to the burn because you've got no energy left. You're exhausted from a week of partying and shitty sleep and cleaning up in the desert. Like, so there is a high likelihood that we will be stopping to spend a night in a cheap motel room, probably in Reno or like Lake Tahoe or somewhere. Like it's probably going to happen depending on how long the Exodus line is. We're just prepping you for that. So like, be prepared for that. She wasn't prepared for that. She was not prepared at all for that. Not in the slightest. I mean, have we learned anything? This girl's not prepared for shit. So we're in the car and we say, and Exodus is really long. It ended up being 7 hours. Skyrim is lit. Damn, you weren't kidding. The story is really long. I told you. I said, are you sure? It's long. It's a long story. I'm sorry. We're getting to the end now. We're almost done. We're almost done. So we're in line for Exodus and we've already been in line for like 5 hours. And I was like, you know what? We're not moving. So like, this is clearly going to be, we're staying in Reno. And we said that. And she immediately is like, well, I don't have stuff to stay in Reno. And I was just like, I don't care. I was like, we told you this was a very likely possibility. This isn't on us. Like, I don't care at this point. At least she's predictable. I know. She was so predictable at this point. I was like, I'm not even surprised. You missed a lot. Holy damn. Yeah, sorry. This is a long story. I never said this was a short story. I immediately said this was a very long story. Anyway, and she was like, well, I don't even have my wallet. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have your wallet? I like turned to her and I was like, what do you mean you don't have your wallet? And she was like, well, she literally said this. Well, Natalie, you told me there wasn't enough room in the car for my stuff. And I was like, Cordelia, it's a wallet. I was like, you brought an electric kettle and a full-length mirror. Obviously, we could fit your fucking wallet. I was so done at this point. I yelled at her. I was like, you're an idiot. Like, obviously, we could fit your fucking wallet. And she was just like huffing in the back seat. Like, I was the one being unreasonable. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And Tyler didn't know what to say. He was like stunned, speechless. Because at this point, like, she's trying Tyler's patience. Because, like, mine is done. I have no fucks left to give. I'm like, I will be a rude ass bitch to you because you are being a petulant, idiotic child and you're too old to be acting like this. A mirror is smaller than a wallet. A full-length mirror and an electric kettle. By the way, like, that was in the car on the way back. She brought that shit back with her, but not a wallet. Fucking crazy. Anyway, so I was like, well, we're staying in a room. I don't care at this point. I'll just pay for a room with 2 double beds. I don't care. Like, should I have to do that for your fucking ass? No, I should not have to do that. But she clearly like didn't have the money or maybe didn't want to stay a night. And I was like, you know what? I'm more than willing to pay for you to share a room with us to shut you the fuck up. But like, that's it. I think I said to her too, when she told me she didn't have a wallet, I was like, how are you gonna like pitch in for gas and snack? Like, how are you gonna buy food on the road? And she didn't have an answer for that. She literally did not have an answer for that. And I was like, you're fucking crazy if you think I'm buying literal shit for you. Wallet. So anyway, so I paid for the room when we got to Reno. She was lying. No, I don't think she was, you guys. If you know this girl, she was really that stupid. She was really fucking stupid. And yes, she was also spoiled as fuck and used to people taking care of her. But she was also a fucking moron. Like, if you go back to the very beginning of the story, like, she was not following that Chuck Palahniuk book at all. She had no idea what was happening in that book. And that was not a hard book to follow. She was really fucking stupid. So, like, she's one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. So anyway, she is beautiful. This girl has to be beautiful to get away with this kind of life. She was beautiful. She was a model. She was gorgeous. That was the one thing she had going for her, because let me tell you, nothing else was going for her. Not her personality, surely. So anyway, we get to Reno, we get to the motel, and there's a Denny's attached to the motel that our whole camp is eating like a late night dinner at. So we go down to the Denny's because I'm like, I want to get some food, I'm going to shower, and I'm going to pass the fuck out. And I was like, she came down, and Tyler and I immediately went to our friend's table where there were only 2 seats left, because I was like, I'm not fucking sitting with her. I'm not doing it. Because I am not paying for her food. I refuse to pay for her food. On principle, I will not fucking do it. Could I have afforded to do it? Yeah. I refused on principle. I was like, no. So we sat with our friends and we told them what happened and how she didn't have her wallet. And they were just as flabbergasted as we were. They were like, that's unbelievable. And so she went and sat with some other friends who had coddled her and flirted with her and spoiled her all week. And I was like, they can pay for her fucking food. They can pay for her food. I'm not doing it. And she kept talking about it. She was like, I don't have my wallet. And there was no room in the car. Natalie said there was no room in the car. And her friends were like, oh my God. Well, we'll buy you a meal. Because her friends weren't like, we weren't super tight, but they also understood. They were like, Natalie has a tiny SUV. Like, there is no room in her car, but there is room for a wallet. Like, everybody was kind of like, there's room for a wallet. Like, this doesn't really add up. But they were like, we'll buy you a meal. And I was like, thank God. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. So then anyway, that happened. And then the next day we drove home. She didn't have a wallet. I will give her this. She didn't complain about being hungry or not having food. And there were times when we had like bulk snacks that we did offer her and she would take some, because I was like, listen, I'm not that petty. We have some snacks in the car. I'm more than happy to share most of my snacks, even if you don't fucking deserve it, bitch. But out of the goodness of my heart, I will. But I will not buy you a fucking thing at a single gas station we pass. I will not buy you a single lunch item on the road. And I will Venmo you for gas later. I will Venmo request you, because this is bullshit. So anyway, because she didn't pitch in for gas on the way up either. I was like, I'm keeping track. I know how much gas costs. All right. I'm paying attention. So we get to drop her off at her car, and she was just like, I like asked for her Venmo information and she gave it to me. And she was like, I think how did she phrase it? She was like, I forgot how she said it, but she said something to the effect of like, oh, are you gonna Venmo request me for gas? I was like, yeah. Yeah, I am. And I Venmo requested her for gas, and she didn't send it for like a week, and I had to text her 3 times before she sent it. Like, I had to harass her to do it. And then I never talked to her again. I never saw her again. I never talked to her again. But that was the end of the saga. I would have ditched her at the motel. I'm not that cruel. Like, I am blunt, and I was getting fed up, and I was at a point in my life where I was like, and at a point in my relationship with her where I was like, I am going to tell you how you're making me feel, because you are fucking stupid and childish and annoying as fuck. And I'm done dealing with your bullshit, but I'm not going to abandon you at a motel. Like, that is a different level of like evil. You know what I mean? Like, I did commit to giving you a ride home, and I will give you that ride home. But do you deserve it? No. You don't deserve it at this point. You have been nothing but a pain in my ass. Has she gone since? I have no clue, and I don't care. I have no clue. I don't follow her. I have no clue what she's been up to. And I'm so happy I have no clue where she's at. Yeah, there's basic level of human treatment. That's exactly right. And the thing is, like, I have to say, I didn't give her any sassy tone until she gave it to me first. Because there were many times when she started throwing her temper tantrums and she started getting whiny and sassy. And that was when I started snapping at her. Because I was like, if you're going to act like a child, I'll treat you like a child. If you're going to act like a bratty teenager, I'll treat you like one. But you aren't one. You're like 20 fucking 2. So this is unacceptable. Anyway, that's the story of Cordelia. It was a lot. And that was how Tyler and I learned that we will never give a ride to anyone going to Burning Man ever again. We'll never do that, because even if it's somebody you love and are very close to, it just has the potential to be unnecessarily exhausting or stressful. And Tyler and I have a great time on road trips. We love road trips. We always say that the minute you get on the road, the adventure has begun, because what was her dealia? Oh my God. Because especially with something like Burning Man, it's very easy to like want to get to the burn and be stressed about getting in and out. And like, it can feel like the whole road trip is exhausting. So the minute you get in the car, we just say, we're already there. We're already at Burning Man. The fun has begun. And we treat every road trip like that. Like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And it makes every road trip so enjoyable. But there have been times when other people join our little bubble, and a lot of times it's fun and it works. Like we've been on road trips with many people to and from Colorado, and it's a good time. But not everybody likes to do road trips the same way. Not everybody likes to listen to the same thing. Sometimes people get tired. Some people don't want to stop. So we just kind of prefer to do our own thing when it comes to road trips. And I don't know if we ever will go back to Burning Man, but if we do, we will never take another person. No disrespect to Burning Man, seems like the exact kind of place for immature moochers like her. I mean, yeah, she's not the only one. You're not wrong. It's just that's not how Tyler and I roll. Are you in a cult? We were. We haven't been since 2023. As someone who drives long distances for a living, screw the journey, just give me the destination. Well, I think if it was part of my job, it would just become a job. But like the road trips that we've been on, like a lot of times they're really long. And so if you go into it immediately with the mindset of like all that matters is the destination and getting there, it can make the experience of driving really stressful or frustrating or annoying. Like if you hit traffic, it can be like fucking kill me. But if you treat the road trip part as like the vacation has begun, it almost just like flips my mindset and allows permission to like have a good time. Would you take a subscriber? Honestly, probably not. And that's no shade against any of you. But again, I just described to you like it's a sacred space for me, and I don't know how it would go. Like I would be worried that by the end, not only would you hate me, but I would hate you, and I would be sad. Because I don't want to hate you guys. I like you guys. But a road trip, it's like you're contained in a moving box for a long time. And granted, I've had some really good road trips with people, but I've also had some mediocre, some meh ones. The one with Cordelia was like a very unique road trip from hell experience like that. I've never had an experience like that ever again. Foster Oda would have come in handy when it came to Cordelia, right? Would you take Lila? Yes, but I know Lila very well. But then you'd have another story for us. That's true. Maybe a bus ride with the subscribers. I feel like with all of you guys, we'd have to do like a bus ride. And I can wear a microphone like I'm a tour guide. And we can have a lot of stops for snacks and drinks. And then we can play a movie on the bus. That would actually be kind of fun in a weird way. I don't know where we're going in this road trip experience. Maybe we can get one of those LA tour bus things, the open air tour buses, and we can just drive around LA and I can just make up lies about where celebrities live. A live reaction. Yeah, that would be great. On a bus, on a moving vehicle. A bus ride with an audiobook playing. Oh, shit. A spicy audiobook. Yes. I've always been surprised with who I gelled with on long road trips and who I didn't. It's so true. Like, there's so many times where you're like, oh, this is going to be great because I know this person and we're really tight friends. And then it's like you get in a car together and it's like, oh, actually, this is a little awkward or a little stressful. Because everybody has different like comfort zones with things. Like some people want to be in the driver's seat the whole, like I like to drive on a road trip. I don't have a problem with like letting Tyler drive, but I do get a little nervous with like just anyone behind the wheel, especially in like crowded highway situations. So I do prefer to be the one driving and then, or like to let Tyler drive. But so on road trips, it's like, we don't really let a lot of other people drive. And that can be stressful for some people. Like I have a friend who likes to be in control and it's hard for him. And I get that because I also am anal and like to be in control. And it's not a great combination for us to be in a road trip together. Like there was one time we were all going on a ski trip and him and his fiance took a separate car because he likes to drive. And I was like, he was like, do you mind if I'm doing that? I don't want to like, I'm not trying to be mean. I was like, listen, no, like that works for you. I also am the same level of anal and controlling that you are. I also want to be the one driving. So like we both can't be the one driving. So it's cool. We'll just take separate cars. It's no big deal. And we just like made pit stops at the same time along the way. Like we stopped at a museum and then we stopped for lunch further down the road. And that was like how we enjoyed part of it together. And then we just both got back in our separate cars and drove, you know? And that worked well for us. How do you manage to live in LA with the cost of living there these days? I mean, it's not great, but it's kind of like that in any major city in the US. Like any major city. It's just insane everywhere. But yeah, it's not great. YouTube helps. YouTube and Patreon helps. Any similar stories like that? God, that one stressed me out. I actually feel like I need a snack. I'm like hungry after that. So I might go get a snack. Sneak a snack. That's definitely the most like, what's the best Burning Man? 2023 was a great year. But I don't think I have any stories there that you guys would really want to hear. I don't know if I have any, like, that just kind of came up out of nowhere. I'm sure I have great, like, funny, like, horror story experiences with people, but that was definitely a big one. Where you just got so annoyed with somebody. I mean, usually what happens when I meet really annoying people is I distance myself from them immediately. Like, very quickly. When I meet somebody that I don't like, I make it known. Not necessarily to them, but to like people around me. Like, I'll be like, if you're inviting them, don't invite me. Or just like prep me, like tell me, because I'm gonna ignore them. Like I just do everything in my power to never have to see that person again. So with Cordelia, it was a really rare example of having committed to something and then realizing it was a mistake and being locked into spending like 48 hours with a person when I hated their personality, but I realized it too late. So that was a really rare circumstance. Actually, I do have a horror roommate story experience, but it's not really funny. My horror roommate stories aren't really funny. Yeah, the Cordelia story is much better. I don't think the horror roommate stories are really that worth sharing because they were like one was like actively horrible. She was like a bitch and like not really to me. Like she was bitchy to me, but like I didn't care. She was really bitchy to Lila and to our other friend who lived with us because it was all of us four and we only had to live with each other for a semester. But this other girl, well, I'll just say her name. It doesn't fucking matter. Her name's Betty. Betty, Lila, and I, we were all close. We were all good friends. They're all great people. It was this other bitch that lived with us that we didn't want to live with us, and she was crazy. And she would just like antagonize Betty and Lila specifically. She wouldn't antagonize me because I was crazy and I was like, I'll fucking come for you. So like she would antagonize Betty and Lila and I would hear what she was doing and I would step outside of my room and be like, say that again. And then she would like slink off into her room and they would be like, she's terrified of you. But it was also because she was like fucking 5 feet tall and I was the tallest person in our, which is not saying much because I'm 5'4", but I was the tallest person in our apartment. And I was like, I made it very clear to her. I was like, if you step out of line, I will come for you. So like, fucking stop attacking my friends because I'm up to here with it. So she never said anything bad about me into my face. I'm sure she did behind my back. I don't give a shit. But she said bad shit like to Lila and Betty's face multiple times. And I would always just step out of the room and be like, I think the conversation's done now, bitch. And they were like, wow, like she really, like, it was like she would slink away immediately when I would emerge. Cause she just was like, she was one of those people who like, she would provoke people who were non-confrontational. But the minute she was confronted with somebody who would be confrontational, she was a scaredy cat. And I was just like, I'll confront you. You're being a bitch and I'm not about it. But that's not like a funny story, you know? I did live with a wannabe DJ one time in my New York City apartment that like, it was a 4-bedroom on the first floor of Washington Heights. And like, it was a wild time because some of my roommates were great and some were just disgusting slobs. And like, I liked them as people, but I hated them as roommates kind of a thing. And this wannabe DJ, like he left, we had like no room in our apartment and we had like a tiny little dining area that also kind of doubled as like a kitchen prep area because the kitchen was so small and there was like no counter space. So you had to use the little dining table as kitchen prep for cooking. And he would just constantly leave his DJ shit on the dining table. And I was like, this is a common area. This isn't like your DJ studio. Like this should be in your room. And there was one day I kept asking him to move it and he would always leave it out on the dining table. So one day I moved his stuff, like he wasn't home. He wasn't around. So I moved his stuff into his room. There was no table in his room and his bed was a mess. So I put it on the floor, but I moved it really far back from the door, like very close to his bed in the center of the floor with like nothing around it. So he would see it. I didn't throw it in there. I put it in there. I put it down. I wasn't like disrespectful with the equipment, but I was like frustrated, right? So I did put it in there and I went, I'm done with this shit. And he like passive aggressively texted me and I was like I realized he was home when he did that and I was also home. So then I went and knocked on his door and I was like, do you want to talk about this? Like, you don't need to passive aggressively text me. Like we can talk face to face about it. And I just told him, I was like, this is a common area. Like, and I've asked you multiple times to not leave this in the common space. Like it's disrespectful to us trying to cook and clean and like just like live our lives. Like this is your DJ equipment. This isn't a DJ table. This is a dining table. And he was like, well, not everybody lives the way you do, Natalie. And I think you just need to realize that like not everybody has the same like standards that you do. And I was just like, you mean like basic human fucking decency? Because that's all I'm asking of you. And he didn't like that. So he was one of those victim mindset people where it was like, I was like, I'm actually not asking a lot because you're a slob and I haven't asked you once to do your own dishes, even though I really want to ask you to do that. I'm just asking you to not leave your DJ equipment out on a dining table that we all share in a really tiny apartment. Anyway, that's not like a great story either. That's pretty much it. Those were the two bad roommate experiences I've had. My freshman year roommate in college, also, we had like one minor dramatic moment, but it wasn't really that big a deal. Like other than that, I've had really good roommates, to be honest. Like most of my roommate experiences have been really good. I'm generally pretty amenable. Like I've shared many a room with people. Even when I like studied abroad in London, I had to share like a closet-sized room with one girl who I didn't know at all. And we had a great time. It was so much fun. We got to know each other really well. We got along great. Because like I lived with 8 girls in a flat in London and there were 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, but really only 1 shower. There was 1 bath and 1 shower. So like we had to have a really strict shower schedule because 8 girls in 1 shower is crazy. But I got along really well with all of them. I had maybe one minor fight with one girl at one point, but it was because she kind of pissed everybody off at one point. She was like very type A and neurotic and would like kind of police how everybody lived. And at one point I just said to her, I was like, girl, you can't talk to me that way. And she was just like, she like short circuited and didn't really know how to handle it. And I was like, everybody, they're like basically it was like half drama majors and half like journalism majors living in the same apartment. So the 4 journalism majors knew each other really well and the 4 drama majors knew each other really well. And so I didn't really know this girl really well, but like all these other girls knew her well. And so they kind of just like didn't confront her because they knew she was type A and neurotic, but she was really easy to get along with most of the time. Like she was fun and nice, but she just would like be really controlling at other times. And I was like, it's not your right to control all of us. Like it's really rude. Like I don't really care who you are. I'm not gonna have you talk to me that way. So I confronted her about it one time and she wasn't used to being confronted about it. And she like kind of started to cry and I was like, okay, relax. Like I'm not hating on you, but like let's have a conversation about it. And then we had like a real honest heart to heart about it. And she was just like, I'm just like stressed. And I was like, I understand. I get triggered being talked to a certain way. And then we like resolved our issues and it was totally fine. And other than that, we all got along really well together and like had a great semester with 8 women living with 1 shower. Somehow it all worked out. We like drew straws to see who got what rooms because there were 2 rooms that were really big and 2 that were really small. And nobody complained about living in the small rooms. Like I was in one of the smaller rooms and it was fine. She met her match. Well, I'm not controlling though, but like I do resent people being like domineering because my mom can be like that, and so it triggers me a lot. But I'm good at explaining where I'm coming from, so I just explained to her where I was coming from, and she simmered down. After that, she just relaxed, and I was like, listen, I'm not trying to attack you. I think you're a good person. I think it's coming from a good place. But like, this isn't gonna fly with me. This is flying with everybody else because none of them have the balls to confront you. And I do. I don't give a shit. But I'm like also one of those people who like, oh, my neck is twinging. I'm also one of those people who like, I don't view like a fight as like a problem in a relationship. Like, I think if you really love somebody, like that means like part of loving someone is respecting them enough to like call them on their bullshit. And granted, like I haven't fought with the majority of my friends, but like all of my best friends, we've at least had maybe like one moment in our relationship where things got a little heated. Not like a lot, because I think if it's happening all the time, then it's like kind of like, ooh, you know, why? But like even some of my least confrontational friends, like Lila's pretty non-confrontational. Some of my bridesmaids that I'm really close with are a lot of them are really non-confrontational, but we've all had like at least one moment where we've had to be like, let's sit down and have like a heart-to-heart about this, because like I love you and I don't want to fight with you, but we need to work through this issue right now, because clearly like you did something that triggered me and I did something that triggered you, but I respect you enough to like level with you about what's upsetting me, and you tell me about what I did that hurt you, and I'll reflect on it and apologize, and like we'll move on. You know what I mean? Because like life's too short to like, I'm not gonna hold a grudge with people I love and care about. But that's why like if I meet people I generally don't respect or like or vibe with, I usually just immediately do everything in my power to cut them out of my life or not see them, because it's just not fucking worth it, man. Like, it's just not fucking worth it. So I had a couple bad roommates. Most of my roommates have been pretty chill and understanding, but you know, it's like a rite of passage to live with bad roommates at some point. You have to, like, at least at some point. If every roommate you have is bad, then maybe the problem is you. But like, if you have a couple, it's not, you know, it is what it is. That's part of growing up and learning how to get along with others, learning how to communicate with others, you know, learning how to share, learning how to maybe not be a disgusting slob and clean up after yourself. I'm similar. I don't usually forgive people easily. Yeah, I will forgive, but I don't always forget. But it depends on the person too. Like if it's somebody who I'm very close with, we've got a history together, I'm willing to do what it takes to work past it. But it depends on the slight. If the slight is really minor, which with 99% of my friends, the slights that I've experienced have been really minor, or they were totally accidental and it was just like a miscommunication, and like I forget about that shit. I'm like, that's not a big deal. Let's move on. Like, I love you. I know that neither of us want to be like hurting each other right now, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I'll forget about that shit. But there have been a couple moments in my life where like I'm still friends with some of these people, but they did something that really rubbed me the wrong way. And there's like one friend specifically who like I've tried to talk to about it, and it just didn't really go anywhere. And I'm like, okay, like we're still friends, but I haven't forgotten what happened, you know? So there's moments where I'm like, I'll remember forever now. And it has affected the relationship. Like, it's affected what I'm willing to do for you and how much of myself I'm willing to give you. Like, if you respect me and cherish me the way I respect and cherish you, I'll give you fucking everything as a friend. But if you disrespect me or hurt me or do something and like you're not even really willing to work through or talk about it, you get a much more surface level version of me. So, but I feel like a lot of people are like that. That's pretty normal. It's like a protection thing, you know? Sorry to go there, but the grossest roommates I ever saw were two guys who lived with my ex during uni. He used bottles instead of going to the bathroom at night and didn't bin them. Jesus Christ. That's a nightmare. I lived with, okay. Oh, guys, I do have a really great, disgusting roommate story. Hold on. I lived in a house after turning 19. My upstairs roommates were good. I'm still friends with them, but my downstairs roommates once started smoking meth. And the other two were in a relationship on heroin. You know, I gotta say, I'm grateful I never had to deal with that. That would have been really rough. I'm real grateful I never had to deal with like a druggy roommate. I did have a friend who lived with his cousin, and his cousin was like slowly becoming an alcoholic while living with him. And I'm like, oh my God, what a nightmare. Cause like, that's not only your roommate, that's your cousin. Like, that's so sad. And he would like come to me and ask for help. And I was just like, cause I have like some alcoholics in my family, but my experience directly is limited. So I was like, I mean, we can host an intervention, but like, if he's not ready to get help, there's only so much you can do other than just like not enable him, maybe not keep alcohol in the house. But it was so rough. I felt so bad. So he stole all of my 64 games and pawned them. I'm so sorry. This is Skyrim playthrough. I changed the category, okay? We're just chatting. I'm sorry. It turned into a chatting only stream. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry because we're having a great time. It is what it is. Okay, so the gross roommate story that I have, this is mostly Lila. If you guys don't know Lila, we've collabed a few times. Lila is one of my best friends. I lived with her for many a time in college, but a brief period of time after we had graduated in New York. She lived with me in that crazy apartment with 4 bedrooms. Roommates changed over time. I lived there for like a year and a half, and when I first lived there, it was just me and 3 other girls. By the time I left, it was like 2 couples and another girl and me. And a dog. It was very crowded by the time I left. And I was over it at that point. Not over living with Lila. I loved living with Lila, and like we lived with her friends too, who were cool. The random girl that we invited to live with us, we didn't really know her. She was like off of Craigslist or something. She was nice, but she was a fucking slob. And she wasn't the only slob I lived with in that apartment. You know, the DJ guy was a slob. Another girl I lived with before that was also really fucking disgusting. And it was really tough because I knew her well. And I was like, oh, this is so hard to deal with. Kaylo, thank you so much for the 38 months. I appreciate you. It was either Craigslist or Facebook. I don't really remember how we found her, but she was a random roommate. She was the nastiest. I feel bad because like she was like a nice person. But again, like you can like somebody as a person, but just hate them as a roommate. And she was one of those people. So by the time I left, by the time I was moving out, we had already dealt with constant roaches, constant pantry moths, which are like hard to get and like relatively easy to get rid of. I don't know why we kept getting pantry moths. We also dealt with silverfish. We also had a mouse that lived in our apartment. Now, granted, the roaches and the mouse, like we lived on the first floor of an apartment in Washington Heights. Like there's only so much you can do. I will say the mouse appeared to never get into our food. We named him Fred. I really liked him because I never really saw him much. I would only see him when I would leave to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I would turn on a light and I would see him scurry away. It was definitely a mouse, not a rat. He was very little. So he didn't really bother me. He was, to me, the least, because I hate bugs. You guys know me. I fucking hate bugs. So like Fred was he was like a roommate to me. I didn't really give a shit about Fred. He didn't bother me. I thought he was kind of cute. I never saw evidence of him getting into our food. So I was like, Fred is fine. Fred can stay. All the other bugs, I was like skeeved out the whole time I was living there. I was traumatized. I hated it. So finally it's time to leave. I move out. I'm like, thank God I'm moving to my own place in LA. It was back in the day when LA was slightly more affordable to live in. I was moving to North Hollywood before North Hollywood was, blowing up with apartment rents. Did Fred pay rent? No, he did not. But you know what? He was so cute. He didn't have to. What did you do for the silverfish? I mean, I tried like different pest repellent sprays, but like nothing fucking worked with the silverfish. It was like a nightmare. Nothing worked with them. The cockroaches and the pantry moths, I was like, guys, this is about like food. If we like just stay on top of our dishes, if we like stay on top of cleaning up with the food, if we throw out this flour where the pantry moths are specifically coming from, like we won't have this issue anymore. And I just couldn't convince some of the roommates to, like, it would be like half of us would be really good about it and the other half would like suck at all times. It was rough. So anyway, I finally leave. I'm on the road trip driving out to LA and I get a call from Lila. And she was like, girl, you are not gonna believe, or no, I got a text from Lila. I wasn't on the road trip yet. I had like went upstate to stay with my parents for a couple days because my mom was going on the road trip with me out west. So I had moved out. But it was like in the 2-day interim before I did my road trip. She texted me. She's like, you left at a good time. We have bed bugs. And I was like, oh shit. Like, and I wasn't bringing any furniture with me. I was just bringing clothing. But I was like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. What a nightmare. But I was like, thank God I'm gone. So they had bed bugs. And I was like, that fucking sucks. Sorry. But it's not my problem. So anyway, I start the road trip out and I get a call from Lila, like a few days into the road trip. She's like, you're not going to fucking believe what I've discovered. And I was like, oh God, what's happening? And the roommate, I think I can say her name because I don't even know her last name. There's no way she watches my channel, but like, I'm not saying anything that wasn't true. And again, I had no problem with her as a person. I liked her as a person, but she was just a rough roommate. Her name was Valerie. And Lila was like leaving to go to work one day and she like knocked on Valerie's room and was like talking to Valerie about the bed bug protocol they had to go through. And she was like, if you could just, like do X, Y, and Z so we can really get on top of this bed bug thing. And Valerie's like, yeah, sure. And Lila's looking in her room and she sees like so much trash, like food trash on the floor. And she looks at something and she sees something moving and she was like, oh my God. And she was like, what is that? And Valerie's like, what? And Lila goes in and looks and she sees maggots. There were literal maggots in this girl's room and she hadn't noticed. Yeah. And Lila called to tell me, she was like, I just have to tell you what I've discovered. And I was just like, I'm horrified for you because I'm not there anymore. I was like, I have never been so grateful to be gone from a place. Depression is a hell of a thing. I know. How do you not notice? I know. That's what we were saying. We were like, how did you not notice? And Lila obviously was freaking out. And she's like, Valerie, there's maggots in your room. And Valerie was like, oh, I didn't notice. And she was like blasé about it. And Lila was like, Valerie, we have to deal with this now. This is like a now thing. This is a priority. And she was like, well, I got to go to work. And she went, no, you need to call out of work and deal with this with me right now. Because if you don't deal with this right now, this is going to get so much worse. And like, I can't live like this. You have to deal with this now. No, she didn't notice. She really had no idea. This girl was very oblivious. She must have had been traumatized for life after that. Oh yeah, she was. That's why she called me. She was like, I have to talk to somebody who will understand about this. And you lived with Valerie and you understand. So I need to trauma dump. Ew. Oh, so gross. Anyway, I've never been so grateful to be gone from a place in my life as I was in that moment. It was like schadenfreude, but not really schadenfreude because I did really feel bad for Lila having to deal with it. But I was so fucking grateful I didn't have to deal with it. Like, I've never been more grateful in my life. Anyway, that's my grossest roommate story. That was definitely the grossest roommate I've ever had. Yeah. Not the weirdest roommate situation I've ever had, but definitely the grossest. The weirdest roommate situation I ever had was just for one summer. I did like the summer program here in LA, and each apartment was like 2 rooms and like 2 beds in each room. So like everybody would share a room with somebody. but we had like an odd number in our group that year. And there was this one guy, and he wasn't friends with anybody because like he wasn't in my class in theater school. He was in the class above me. And I guess his whole class hated him. I feel kind of bad, but he was really annoying, so I kind of get it. But like everybody in his class hated him, so nobody in his class wanted to live with him. And me and Lila were living with 2 girls from his class, who we were totally happy to live with, and we had a great time with them. I really liked them a lot, but this guy had no one to live with, and he like begged us to live with us, but we were just like, okay. But it was like he had begged the 2 girls in his class kind of a thing, and they asked us if we were okay with it, and we were like, we're okay with it, but he's sharing a room with you. He's not sharing a room with us. Like we made that very clear. We were like, he's not in our class. We don't know him that well. We're not sharing a room with him. So we show up, and evidently they decided they weren't sharing a room with him either. I feel really bad for this guy, but I think they were like, yeah, but I don't though, because he was kind of creepy at times. So I'm like, you know what? I get it. Would I have shared a room with him even if he was in my class? Fuck no, I wouldn't have. So no, he wasn't like scary. He's not a scary dude. He was just really socially awkward, but like kind of pervy at times. But like he never like did anything that was overtly like pushing a boundary. He just made uncomfortable jokes. But then like he would stop. But he was also just kind of weird and not antisocial, which isn't like a huge deal, but he was just living with 4 really loud, outgoing social theater girls. So I think it was just hard. I think it was just as hard for him as it was for us. Like, again, I don't really have anything against this guy because like in small doses, I was okay with him. He was just kind of not my type of person to live with. So he ended up living in the living room, which was kind of strange. He slept in the living room. I felt kind of bad because he ended up sharing a bathroom with his 2 classmates because he had to share a bathroom with one of us, and the bathrooms were in the bedrooms. So he shared a bathroom with his 2 classmates because we were like, Lila and I were on our own side, and we're like, no one's coming over here. Sorry, he's your classmate. No. But he slept in the living room, which I'm sure was not fun for him either. But he wasn't like a big partier, and we were, so I feel kind of bad. There were a lot of times where we would have people over, we'd be hanging out, and he was more than welcome to join us. Like we would talk to him, we'd ask how he was doing, because again, like he could be really funny, and when he was in a good mood, like he was fun to talk to, but like I think he was this weird mix of extroverted and introverted, where like he would insert himself into the conversation but like be rude and weird. But if he was in a good mood, he was perfectly pleasant to talk to. But if he was in a bad mood, he would try to ruin the conversation, so we would all like stop and go to bed or something. It was like he was trying to get us to like stop hanging out. And I was like, I understand because you're in the living room, but like I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's the summertime. We're here on a summer program. We want to have a good time. So it was a weird situation. And then there would be times where he would just ignore us all to like game, which is fine. I mean, to each their own, but we'd be like having a full blown party and he would just be gaming, which honestly, I'm like, that's kind of relatable sometimes. Like, you know what, you do you. Like if you're in the mood to not talk to people and be introverted, I feel kind of bad looking back on it. Cause I'm like, this poor man didn't really have like a place to go to like recharge and be alone, which is important for everybody to have. But there were times when like if we had people over and we knew like he wanted to go to sleep, we'd be like, okay, we'll go to somebody else's apartment or we'll go in one of the bedrooms. Like we tried to like give him space when we could, but I think it was just like an imperfect situation where like it was probably just as hard for him as it was for us. Because there were moments where he was a little weird and creepy, but there were also moments where I was like, he is a nice guy and he's trying his best, but this is clearly an awkward situation for him. So it was just a strange situation, but I don't really blame him for all that. Like it was an awkward time because he had to live in the living room, and that was just why it was weird. You know, he sounds kind of like me. I mean, honestly, he sounds more like me in my old age. Now that I'm older, I'm still extroverted at my core, but I'm a lot more introverted than I used to be. Like ever since the COVID pandemic, I'm totally content to stay home and read a book. And if I had to live in somebody's living room and they were into partying all the time and I didn't have a space to go and be left alone and recharge and read a book, I would like lose my mind after a while. That would suck. But we included him in everything. I mean, anytime we went out for sushi or to the movies or whatever, we always invited him, and he did join most of the time. So he clearly like, but it was like, then we were smoking weed a lot because it was like, you know, our first summer in LA, and we were like new to weed. So obviously we were, you know, smoking every day. And he wasn't into that, but he would do these weird things where like, once he knew we were high, he would try to start freaking us out, like by saying weird shit because we were high. And I was like, it never worked. Cause we were like, we would always be like, dude, we know you. Like, we know what you're doing. Stop. So he was just kind of a goofball sometimes, but there were times when he was really funny and really like, I was like, you know, I think if I wasn't living with you, we'd get along a lot more. And I think if you weren't living in our living room, you'd probably be a lot happier and less grumpier. I kind of like him now. I know that's the thing is like, he did funny shit sometimes where I was like, I think if he wasn't living in our living room, he'd be a lot more likable. But because he was living in our living room, he was probably really upset and angry about it. And we were like, this man is living in our living room and isn't on the same wavelength as us. So it's awkward. Like, we were like, just be on the same wavelength as us because you're here in the living room. But obviously that was unfair to him, who was just trying to live his own life and take a fucking break sometimes. And he had these 4 loud theater girls who were high all the time. Yeah, mismatch. No, it was total mismatch. So I don't really blame. That was one of those situations where that was a weird roommate situation, but no, it wasn't like his fault. It was just the situation was weird. Like, I'm sure if he had his own room, it would have been great. You know? Because there was something kind of humorous about it being like, his name was Craig. There was something kind of humorous about it being Craig and the girls, you know? It was just Craig and the girls. Oh my God, that somehow reminds me of a video of my dad messing with his teenage daughters and their friends playing with a Ouija board by turning the breakers on and off. Oh, that's such a dad thing to do. And that's so cute. Honestly, if I ever have kids, I want Tyler to be like that. I want Tyler to do that shit because I think that's hysterical. My grandpa was that kind of a grandpa. He got really into Halloween every year. He still does. Because he still has, like, I have some baby cousins and they're like, because my mom is the oldest of 8. So there's grandkids like of the whole age range spectrum. And I'm sure he still does it for them. But like for years, my mom, he didn't live in the same neighborhood as us, but he lived in the neighborhood next to ours. So she would we would trick or treat a little bit in our neighborhood. And then she would drive us over to his neighborhood and make me go up to his door. And I hated it. I hated doing it. Even until like teenage years, I still hated doing it because he was so scary. He would commit to his role so strongly and he wouldn't speak. He was like a silent horror villain. And like, he'd have this crazy mask on and he would try to like grab your shoulder and he would move really slowly and then he'd move really fast. And he had like smoke machines everywhere. So you couldn't see him half the time. I was like, Grandpa, stop. Like, stop, Grandpa. He was terrifying. Like he would make all of us cry at a young age and he would stay in the role. He never broke character. And I think my parents got a huge kick out of it. So that's where you get the theatrics. I definitely get the theatrics from that side of the family. That side of the family is very artistic and theatrical and they love storytelling. Like that is for sure the side of the family I get it from. My dad once brought home a mannequin from the junkyard and would routinely move it around at night, place it in showers to mess with my mom. Oh, that's fucking awful. That's awful. I would just turn the tables on him. Like, if Tyler was doing that to me, I would just start doing shit like that back to him because you'd have to I would hate it and it would scare the fuck out of me, but you have to up the ante to get him to stop. Because if you give him the reaction he wants, which is like screaming and being upset and telling him to stop, like that just encourages him. You know what I mean? He gets dopamine from that. So I have to turn the tables. Oh, guys, there's a video that I saw that describes my relationship with Tyler really well. I wonder if I can find it on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram. I saw it a long time ago, though. Give me a minute here and I'll find it. Mighty Hobo, thank you for the 29 months. Halloween parents are the best. I mean, they really can be. Or the worst. That's something on my list to do as a dad, but I have to wait a few years. Can't believe my twin girls will be 1 in August. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, you got to wait a little bit longer to do that, I think, for if they're not even 1 yet. Do you think you have so much patience because you're the older sibling? I'm an older sibling and dealing with mine helped me with people. I don't think I actually have that much patience, but I appreciate you saying that about me. I don't think I'd call myself a patient person. I have become more patient as I've gotten older, but I actually would have called myself very impatient for most of my life until I probably turned like 27. And then I mellowed out of it. It's around the same time where I started mellowing out about confronting people when they were rude. Like when I started walking away more, around that time I started becoming more patient as well. Actually, a lot of my patience I learned from Tyler. Tyler is relatively patient, so I learned a lot from him, to be honest. But I don't think I'd call myself a patient person. But having a sibling does teach you, I think, how to be a more well-rounded person. Let me see if I can find this video. This isn't it. Can I find it? I don't know if I can find it. Is this it? No. There's a video I saw a long time ago that I feel like just describes my relationship with Tyler very, very well. Where it was like clapping and making noise around the house to avoid scaring your wife. Except in that situation, it's actually I'm the husband and he's the wife, because I jump scare him all the fucking time without trying to. Like, I'll just walk into a room and he'll be like, oh my God, Jesus. All the time. So in terms of whoever scares the other most, I'm always scaring him without trying. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was very relatable. Yeah. I have a lot of patience with some things and none with others. Bad drivers in one area can blow a gasket on quickly. Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on the thing. Like, I definitely have more patience now than in my really, my early 20s or whatever, but it depends on what it is. It also depends on, like, how much I care about whatever I'm doing. Like, if it's something if I'm kind of just in a go with the flow mood and we're doing something that doesn't really matter to me, I can be really patient because I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm just along for the ride, man. But if it's like, yeah, traffic, I'm not always traffic doesn't always bother me, but it's like road rage or people driving poorly can really like upset me. But I don't know. It just depends on the thing. KSI, thank you for the 1 gifted. I scare all of my family. Most of them thump along walking. Oh my God. My mom jump scared Tyler while we were home visiting my family. It was so funny. He said she walked into a room and he went, ah! And she went, ah, what? Like he scared her. Because normally, like, I'll walk into a room and I jump scare him and I'm used to it and it doesn't even faze me anymore. Like, I walk into a room, he'll scream and I'm like, okay, anyway, I came to tell you. And she got scared because she wasn't used to it. I forgot my name was KSI. The KSI. You can sneak up and be like, boo. Yeah, if I actually tried to scare him, I think he would have a heart attack. It's so funny too, because there's so many times where I'll be like yelling his name, making a lot of noise coming from the other room, but he wears noise canceling headphones so often. That's not the only way I scare him though. Like, I scare him when he doesn't have headphones in all the time. He's just like, you're walking so quietly. And I'm like, I'm really not. Like, I'm just walking. But there's plenty of times where I yell his name. And I'm like actively trying to get his attention. And then I come into the room and he's like, Jesus, why didn't you say something? I'm like, I did. I tried to prepare you. I'm not trying to scare you. Are you a toe walker? No. I don't think so. Ooh, my neck is getting stiffer. My father sometimes doesn't wear his hearing aid, and my mom sneaks and scares him. Oh. That's funny. Did you work in Hollywood? I mean, like, you mean in like entertainment? I did for a bit. For a little bit. Can anyone remember which video it was where Nat got jump scared so badly by Tyler popping in? Oh my God, I don't remember. I remember it happening, but I don't remember what it was. It must have been like a horror movie. What's a toe walker? I didn't ask, but I'm assuming it means somebody who just walks on their toes. Hi, Commander. Spell way? W-A-Y? Why? Why did you want me? What? Why? Never forget the great desk banging. Yeah, that was Stranger Things. I'll never forget that. I still have that stupid desk. I'm eventually, when we move, I'm gonna say goodbye to this thing. It's time. Oh, the plaque falling. I remember that too. I think that was for some horror movie. I don't know if it was like The Conjuring or Hereditary, but it was something like that. I'm officially not KSI now. Whoa! Your name changed. You forgot F? I'm so confused. I don't get it. The plaque falling was hilarious because the fact that it only it was Conjuring. Yeah, the fact that it's never happened since. It's only ever happened for that video is wild. And it was funny too because there was such a logical explanation. Like Tyler had moved something on the bookshelf and had bumped the plaque. So like there was a logical explanation, but I didn't know that at the time. He hadn't told me he bumped the plaque because why would he? It was like a inconsequential thing. So I just happened to film a horror movie about like a haunted house at the same time that happened. It was honestly like content gold. Like I couldn't have planned anything better if I tried. Oh, 300? That was where the jump scare was? Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that one. I must have been really immersed in the movie. Tell us a ghost story, please. You must have one. I do have one, but I've told it before. I feel like I've told you guys all of my stories, except for the Cordelia story. Clearly, I hadn't shared that one. But I feel like I've shared all my other stories with you. I've definitely told the ghost story before, but we had a ghost in this house. So I used to be one of those people who was like, I don't know if ghosts are real, but I'm like open to the possibility of it. But I never really thought that like they were real because of like Ouija boards. I thought like, oh, people are just moving their hands. You know what I mean? There were certain things where I was like, if there's an easy way to explain it away, then the simplest explanation is most likely true. But I was also open to the possibility of it because especially when my grandma passed away, I can't explain it to you, but like there were many a time where I really felt like her energy was with me and around me. It's less so now, but early on after her death, there were like a lot of weird experiences I had with like butterflies specifically that just felt strange. Like butterflies that would follow me on a 3-mile walk. And I'm like, this is crazy. And it just felt like my energy from my grandma. And I was very close to my grandma. So it just like something about it felt, I was kind of open to the idea of there being ghosts in the world, but I'd never really had an experience with them. Oh, the jump scare. I'll have to watch that later. Thanks, Danish Prince. As an Irishman, I should take the opportunity to recommend some quite funny movies. Divorcing Jack and The Guard. I think you'd find them very funny. Thanks. Okay, so The joke was the way you spelled way, and I say you forgot F, and you say there's no F in way. Oh. So I ruined your joke, is what you're saying? Sorry. I ruined your dad joke. My bad. I just went, I don't understand. I have been to Canada, yes. Anyway, back to the story. I also am a little bit Canadian, and I'm applying for dual citizenship right now, fun fact. Anyway, just a teeny tiny bit. Like, it's very minute, like I'm 2% or something. Anyway, I didn't really, I was open to the idea. I knew it. I was open to the idea of ghosts, but I never really had an experience with one until I moved into this house. And how about 3%? I don't fucking know. Okay. Have a good one, Kalo. Bye. Now the first few things that happened were kind of easy to explain away. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but the last thing is not easy to explain away. So the first few things that happened, there's a chandelier that would always flicker above the dining room table downstairs. It would always flicker. We had an electrician check on it. There was no issues with the wiring. We changed all the bulbs, nothing. And it didn't flicker all the time. It just would flicker randomly from time to time. But it was consistent over the course of 2 years. It would happen. But it wasn't constant. It just sometimes would happen. It was usually at night. And I was like, that's a little weird. I didn't really think anything of it, but the electrician couldn't figure anything out. And I was like, whatever. And it wasn't happening enough that it was annoying. I just was like, okay. Also, sometimes when I only had Coda at this time, we didn't have Ridley. Also, for part of this experience, I was living in this house alone. Tyler moved in after I lived here for a year-ish, a little less than a year. That was when he moved in. So for the first year, basically, I was alone. When I would play with Coda, I noticed that while I was playing with him, he would be really into it, and I would go to throw the toy again, and all of a sudden he would get completely distracted and look to the space immediately next to me, and I couldn't get his attention back on the toy, and he would just stop playing and would stare directly at the space right next to me. And that happened a lot. And we'll get to it. That would happen all the time. And I was always like, that's a little weird. Cause he would be so into playtime and all of a sudden would just be really distracted by air next to me. And I'm like, okay. And that would make me a little uncomfortable. I was like, that's a little suspicious, but again, maybe he's just weird. I don't know. Maybe my dog is just crazy. And I also, this is a feeling thing. This isn't again, something that you could easily explain away, but whenever I was upstairs alone at night, when I was specifically washing my face and had to have my eyes closed, I always felt so uneasy. I felt like somebody was watching me and was gonna grab me. I just had this weird feeling that I had to get my eyes open as fast as possible because I was a little unsettled. I also would just sometimes have a really hard time falling asleep at night. I would just have this really uneasy feeling like I was being watched. And I just thought I was being paranoid because, again, for part of this time I lived alone. And so I just thought, I just need to get used to the house. It's just me. And then Tyler moved in. He didn't notice anything off, but these other things kept happening. And he thought the light flickering was an electrical issue. And I was like, I've already had it checked out. I don't know what to tell you. But everything else, he just kind of didn't think anything of it. Nothing was really affecting him. We had 2 friends over one night and we were all hanging out. Our living room is a little down a tiny flight of steps. It's sunken. You can see the dining area from the living room. It's all in a compact area. And so the 4 of us, we were all hanging out in the living room, all hanging out and talking. 3 of us, me, Tyler, and one of our friends, are facing the living room or the dining room. And my friend had left her purse hanging on one of the dining room chairs. Can I get something to demonstrate? I don't have a bag. Let's just grab this pillow for a second. So imagine this pillow is her bag. It's on a long strap and it's a big tote bag. And it's hanging on the chair. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, her bag goes like this. Swing, swing, stop. out of nowhere. We can visualize. I know, but I wanted a pillow. I just let me get my props and have fun with my props, okay? And it was like dramatic. Like it wasn't like a gentle swing from like a breeze. It was like 2 dramatic swings and a stop immediately. And Tyler and I both were like, and I at that point had already voiced to him that I thought we had a ghost, and he was like, I don't think we have a ghost. I think there's logical explanations for all this shit. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like we have a ghost. And so at that point, I turned to our friends, one of whom saw it, the other heard it. He had his back to the dining room, so he didn't see it, but he heard it. And both of them work in like science. One of them is like a marine biologist, conservationist. The other is a speech pathologist. They both have like logical professions that follow like natural sciences or like biological sciences. Like they're grounded in reality, okay? And I was like, is there a logical explanation for that, for what just happened? And they both were like, no, ghost. So at that point, that drama school paid off, eh? Yeah. That's what a BFA training will get you. I can demonstrate with a pillow my acting abilities. So good. A dolphin moved the bag. A dolphin ghost. Anyway, so they left and I had some Palo Santo, but I didn't really know how to use it properly and I didn't look it up. I just honestly thought like if I just go around the house waving some Palo Santo, like maybe that'll fix the problem. No, I made it worse because that night, I swear, this ghost was only haunting me, and I think it was like intentionally trying to draw attention to itself with other people around so it could like, I think it was sick of living in the house, quite honestly. And I was clearly like ignoring it. I wasn't doing anything about it, and I think it was like a cry for attention or for help. And so when I did the Palo Santo shit, I didn't do it right. I didn't open any windows. I didn't know what I was doing. And I went to sleep, or I tried to. I couldn't fall asleep because what would happen is every time I would get into that in-between space where like you start to like fade away. It's like right before like you fully go unconscious, but you're like almost there. Every time I would get to that point, I would hear what sounded like an old man yelling incoherent words in my ear. Like it was never a coherent sentence, but I would hear, "Ah!" And it like kept jolting me out of like my almost sleep. And it happened like 4 times. And I was so terrified that I finally came downstairs and I begged Tyler to come upstairs. I was like, please, I know you're not ready for bed yet, but like I can't do this. I'm so scared right now. The ghost is yelling in my ear. I swear to God, I feel like I'm losing my mind, but like I swear it's yelling in my ear. And he was like, okay, I'll come upstairs. And then it stopped. But then the next day, the light flickered again. And I was like, okay, can you repeat that noise, please? No, I'm not repeating it. So the next day, I looked up how to properly use Palo Santo because I had more. And I realized I did it wrong. And then I did it right. That noise sent me. And then I used it properly. And the light has never flickered again since. Coda has never done that weird thing again. And I don't feel uneasy in my house alone at night anymore. And maybe that's like a mental thing. That last thing could be easily explained away. But the light flickering thing happened for 2 years. And that stopped after that. It has never happened again. So I'm like, if that's not proof of a ghost, then I don't know what is, because like I got some pretty concrete proof there. Some people believe me. Some people have said like I'm crazy. I don't care. Sounds like a djinn to me. Aren't djinn like more malevolent though? This thing didn't feel malevolent. It felt like it didn't want to be here. It felt like the ghost of an old man who was just like, I really don't want to be here anymore. Please let me go. But I'm like stuck in this house. Like, please let me go. Because like, it kind of was like I felt like it was watching over me for a long time and it was unsettling, but it didn't really intervene in my life or do anything destructive until we had people come over. And even then it didn't like destroy my friend's bag. It just moved it. And then it was like yelling in my ear, almost like it was like, please stop. And then the minute I used Palo Santo correctly, it was gone. So I think it just was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Let me out. Anyway, it's totally gone now. Like there's no way I can prove it, but does your house have a history? I mean, it's an old house. It was built in the 60s. It's not like a new house. And there was an older couple who lived here for years and years before. Like, we didn't buy it from them. Basically, there was an old married couple who lived here for a very long time. They sold it to a young family, and that family only lived here for like a year and a half, and then we bought it from them. But yeah, I don't know. Can you get old bro on the stream? I mean, maybe that was him with the plaque. But I think I'd already used the Palo Santo at that point. No, I used it before I ever had a YouTube channel. So, gins will put you in a sleep state, feeding you hallucinations of a perfect life while they feed on your life force. That definitely didn't happen because, like, this thing was actively preventing me from sleeping. I think this thing was like, don't fall asleep! Open the fucking window! I want to go! Please! I'm so bored! You guys are so annoying! That's kind of the energy I got from it. It was just bored with my life. It was like, you are a shitty roommate. I don't want to be here anymore. The family got fed up from the flickering light? Maybe. I don't know if anyone ever died in the home, but maybe somebody did. I don't know. The grandpa that was control. I'd never seen Insidious or Insidious 2. Anyway. All this ghost talk just makes me want to see you react to Supernatural even more. I'll have to consider it. I was debating whether to like just do the next season of Buffy or do another poll for like another show. So we'll see what people want. But I'm about to wrap up season 1, so I'll have to like post about it on Patreon and see what people want. I've never seen Supernatural, so it could be a good time. Please continue Buffy. I mean, I'd like to continue Buffy. I'm having a fun time with it. Buffy season 2 is my favorite season personally. Okay, I mean, I'm pretty down to continue it, but I was probably just gonna do like a yes or no poll first. I know I'm gonna do X-Men 97 as well, but those are weekly episode drops, so like that's not enough content. Like that, I'm probably gonna be watching 3 shows at once because X-Men 97 is releasing so slowly. Just don't commit fully to Super. Oh, I wouldn't. 15 seasons? That's fucking crazy. Oh my God. Have you ever had a dream where you stand up like next to your bed and you see yourself sleeping? No. I think that would scare the fuck out of me. You've suffered through the only bad season, the rest of your show is the reward. Well, that's great, because I've been having fun with the bad season, to be honest. Have you watched Invincible? Yes. Yes, I have many videos on Invincible. Anyway, y'all, I think I'm gonna head out. We've been here for a couple hours, and I'm honestly fucking starving. And I feel weird eating on, well, I mostly feel weird leaving you to go prepare food and continuing to eat on stream. And also, I had an hour stream before this where I was doing nonstop talking, so my throat is getting a little tired. We've told a lot of stories. I'm sorry that it wasn't, yeah, no, I turned it into a just chatting stream. I'm sorry. It became just chatting. I figured we haven't streamed. I know, I'm sorry. Like I thought it was going to be a Skyrim stream and with like just a little bit of catch up in the beginning. And then once we got into that Cordelia story, I was like, you know what? This is a chatting stream. That's what it is. Sorry. Apology accepted. Thank you. Next stream we'll get back into, well, no, next stream is the book club stream. Next week, for those of you who don't know, or those of you who do know, we've got our book club live stream on Saturday. I think it's at 11 a.m. I bumped it up a little bit. We'll be discussing Dungeon Crawler Carl and Lights Out. I've finished Lights Out. I'm close to finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl. So, yeah. Anyway, after that, we'll get back into gaming. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I felt like I just needed to catch up with you guys today and just like chat. So this is my first is great. Usually every week, but I'm kind of coming back after a small little hiatus with all the traveling and stuff that I had. But it's usually weekly. Usually Fridays or Saturdays, sometimes Sundays. Lights Out is scary. I like that. It wasn't really. It's not really scary. I wouldn't call it a horror. It's just like a dark kind of, but it's not even really dark. It's like the kink is dark, but the romance itself, I wouldn't really, I mean, maybe you could call it dark. I don't know. I really wouldn't, but anyway. Wherever Cordelia is right now, I hope she's on fire. Jesus Christ. I'm not putting that energy out there. That's a little bit much. Kink? Well, Lights Out is a spicy book. Anyway. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a really fun time. I'm glad I got to catch up with y'all. And I can't wait to be back into streaming more. It's a fun time. Feel good to be back and settled at home with no ghosts. A raid? Is a raid happening? No. Oh, you want me to raid? I mean, I can see. I haven't raided in a while. I don't know if there's anyone I'd want to raid right now. No, it's fine. I haven't raided in a long time, but I think I just get insecure raiding. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Bye.